Now, we all been to Disneyland, right? But not all of us, when we go, we expect to die. Some people, they do die. Maybe it's a skill issue. Maybe it's just me, fool. But today we're gonna be reacting to 8 most horrific deaths at Disneyland. Alright. God damn, bro. Already we starting crazy. First, they go up this loop. And then they just fall like that. Nah, that's crazy, bro. Nah, that's like a fear, though, for real. If you really go on roller coasters, bro, and you're like one of those overthinkers, you're like, damn, bro, this loop that we're about to go around, I could really just fly out, bro, and it's GG.
Disneyland is known as the happiest place on Earth, but like any large amusement park, it has its dark side. Over the years, some truly...
Now, chat, have anything ever happened to you guys in regards to a theme park? Like, if you got stuck or something bad happened or you saw something bad happen, leave it in the comments.
Horrific accidents have taken place, resulting in tragic deaths that shocked visitors and staff alike.
And it is here where the crash occurs.
From the tragic story of Deborah Gale Stone at the America Sings attraction to the terrifying monorail accident that claimed the life of a young man, these incidents remind us that even the most magical places can have their moments of horror. Let's take a closer look at some of the most horrific deaths that have occurred at Disneyland.
Yo, this is crazy, bro. This is like one of the carnival rides, bro. This is why I don't trust carnivals, bro. Like those ones that just pop up on the city and stuff. Like, don't go on those fair rides, bro. They're too dangerous.
Disney's California Adventure might be the younger sibling of Disneyland, but when it first opened, it was more of a messy teenager. The California-themed park got off to a rocky start in 2001, thanks to odd theming and a shortage of must-ride attractions. Luckily, Pixar and other big-name franchises swooped in over the years to turn it into a fun, thrill-packed destination. One original feature...
I will say the Cars ride saved California Adventure, bro. The Cars ride is the top 5 rides at Disneyland. I ain't gonna lie. It might be top 2, honestly.
That's still standing is the Hyperion Theater, a massive stage for musicals and live shows. It's a fan favorite today, but back in April 2003, it was the site of the park's most tragic incident. A stage technician was working high above the stage preparing for a performance when he fell 60 feet from a catwalk. Despite being rushed to the hospital, he passed away a month later without regaining consciousness.
Oh my God.
The investigation afterward placed the blame squarely on Disney, citing safety protocol failures. The company was fined $18,350, a sum so small it probably could have been covered by the coins and...
Yeah, I was about to say, bro, that's literally nothing. For a whole death, $18K? That's like penny change to this company, bro.
Mickey Mouse's pockets.
At least.
While this was the most serious incident at California Adventure, it wasn't the first or last time Disney's safety measures were called into question. It's a sobering reminder that even in the happiest place on Earth, the magic sometimes comes with a dark side.
Now, what the hell is this, bro? There's no way this is a real picture, right? Like, there's no way. This has to be just for thumbnail, right? Is a ride really going this fast and rips off your whole skin?
Especially for those working behind the scenes. Disneyland Monorail. 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 Got that catchy tune stuck in your head? You're not alone, and technically it's a Disney song now. While Ogdenville and North Haverbrook might be fictional, Disney's monorail is the real deal, shuttling guests to the magic every day. It's one of the safest ways to travel, with sleek trains zipping along fixed tracks. But here's the thing. Safety works best when people make smart choices, and that's not always guaranteed. Take the tragic story of Thomas Guy Cleveland. On June 17, 1966, the 19-year-old from Northridge wanted to visit Disneyland. Why he didn't use the main entrance, we'll never know. Maybe he was short on cash, or maybe he just thought he had a brilliant shortcut. Either way, he climbed onto the monorail track, planning to walk his way into the park. What he didn't plan for was a giant train heading straight for him.
Bro, like, how stupid is this, though? Like this is not even like an accident, Disneyland's fault. Like, how stupid you gotta be to do something like that?
A security officer spotted Cleveland and tried to warn him, but for whatever reason, the young man didn't stop. The train struck him and dragged him underneath, leading to fatal injuries. This was one of the first deaths in Disneyland's history, and a grim reminder that even in the happiest place on Earth, bad decisions can lead to heartbreak.
I mean, this one wasn't on Disney, though. That was just on him, like, for just being restarted, bro. Like, why would you do that? Why would you climb on any tracks, bro? I get nervous just walking, chat, and there's sometimes there's train tracks. I literally be looking. Like 10 whole seconds, making sure there's nothing coming, bro. Even if I know there's nothing coming, it's just like a fear, bro. So I can't imagine just climbing on some damn tracks at Disneyland.
Where the crash occurs. Now, 21-year-old Austin Winberg was in this.
Sadly, Disney's transportation systems seem to have a way of tempting people into risky behavior. Remember, if you're headed to the park, take the proper path. Trains and shortcuts don't mix. Mark Maples. The Matterhorn at Disneyland, despite its fun and thrilling experience, has a history of incidents, including one of its first tragic fatalities in 1964. Mark Maples, a 15-year-old from Long Beach, was riding the Matterhorn with two friends when the accident occurred. Ignoring the safety guidelines, Maples unbuckled his seatbelt and attempted to stand up as the bobsled approached the mountain's crest. He lost his balance, was thrown from the sled, and fell to the track below, suffering severe injuries, including a shattered head, ribs, and internal damage.
Now, why
Maples'
would you do
friends
that?
were unaware of his actions during the ride, as it was too dark to see what was happening. One friend felt Maples...
So not only he was just doing it, but he was doing it in the dark and stuff. Bro, this guy had some balls. Oh my God. But how do you do this, bro? Taking off a seatbelt, that's like the worst fear for me, is making sure my seatbelt's like tight as hell. I'm making sure nothing's coming off, bro. If I gotta hold on to it, I'm gonna hold on to it. But I can't imagine like, let me just take off my seatbelt and just stand up on the damn roller coaster. No,
collide
bro.
with him, but couldn't see what he was doing. After the ride ended, the friends reported that Maples was missing, and he was later found unconscious on a ledge about a third of the way down the Matterhorn's interior. Despite being rushed to the hospital and placed in critical condition, Maples tragically died from his injuries a few days later. Disneyland officials later confirmed that Maples had unbuckled his seatbelt and stood up during the ride, possibly striking his head on the side of the concrete mountain before falling. The bobsled was estimated to be moving at about 20 miles per hour when the accident occurred. The incident also sparked
Yeah, you see, 20 miles seems slow, but if you think about it, it's fast, bro. 20 miles is enough to really put some damage on someone's head, bro, and that could cause brain damage easily.
Confusion among ride operators. They initially did not believe the story when the friends reported that Maples had fallen out. It was only after two girls in the car behind them confirmed the event that the ride was shut down for investigation.
Damn, bro. That's crazy. That had to be traumatizing for the
After
friends.
a week of investigations, the Anaheim police chief ruled the death as an accident. Mark Maples' tragic death marked the first fatality at Disneyland, emphasizing the importance of safety measures and the risks involved in ignoring them. Joanne Aguilar.
R.I.P. to these people.
On August 22, 2021, Joanne Aguilar, a 66-year-old woman with mobility challenges, visited Disneyland with her two adult daughters. They decided to ride the Jungle Cruise attraction, but a wheelchair-accessible boat wasn't available. Cast members informed Joanne she could still ride the regular boat with her daughter's assistance.
We have a tiger. Now, tigers are only just 20
Yeah, I don't know this ride. I've never been on this.
Don't worry.
When the ride ended, Joanne attempted to exit the boat with help from her daughters. Unfortunately, she lost her balance and fell back into the boat, fracturing her right femur. Joanne was taken to the hospital and later transferred to a rehabilitation facility. Tragically, after 5 months, she developed an infection, went into septic shock, and passed away on January 29, 2022.
Damn, bro.
The Aguilar family filed a lawsuit against Disney, claiming employees had mocked Joanne as she struggled to exit the boat. The complaint alleges that cast members placed small, unsecured blocks on the boat steps to lower their height, but did not properly assist Joanne, leaving her embarrassed and ashamed. Disney, however, denied the accusations, stating that Joanne's injuries were due to her own actions. The company emphasized that...
What do you guys think, bro? Like, honestly, I kind of get both sides, bro, because both sides are going to attack each other. They're definitely going to try to sue Disney, and I get it, but at the same time, it's like, they said that she wasn't able to go in on the first place, and that they kind of let them do it with the daughter's help. So, are they really liable for that? It could be liable for that, because maybe they weren't even supposed to let her go in the first place. So, I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, bro. I don't know how to feel about that.
The Jungle Cruise offers an ADA-accessible boat designed for guests in wheelchairs, but Joanne chose to ride a standard boat with help from her daughters. The family is seeking compensation for Joanne's pain, emotional distress, medical expenses, funeral costs, and legal fees. Their attorney, Michael Gandon, expressed their heartbreak, saying, "My clients went to Disneyland to create joyful memories, but instead, they remember the lack of dignity and respect shown to their mother, which ultimately led to her death." Disney has denied all liability in court, arguing that the family understood the potential risks of visiting the park. The company also requested the lawsuit be dismissed. As of now, the legal case remains unresolved.
What? It's still unresolved? So what the hell does that mean? Like, it's still pending or something?
Christina Moreno. Cristina Moreno, a 23-year-old woman from Barcelona, Spain, was on her honeymoon in California when tragedy struck. On June 25, 2000, she and her husband visited Disneyland and rode the Indiana Jones adventure. After the ride, Cristina complained of a severe headache, prompting the couple to return to their hotel. However, her condition worsened, and she was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, where doctors diagnosed her with a brain hemorrhage. Despite medical efforts, Cristina never recovered and died on September 1, 2000, from a cerebral aneurysm. The Moreno family filed a lawsuit against Disney, alleging that Cristina's death was caused by the intense shaking and stress experienced on the Indiana Jones adventure ride. The lawsuit, filed in Los Angeles County Superior Court, claimed that Disney management failed to make the ride safer and did not adequately warn passengers of the potential risks, despite prior incidents involving injuries on the same ride.
Now, I have heard things about the Indiana Jones ride, but I've also been on it a few times myself, and nothing's been wrong with it. But I don't know, has any of you guys have a weird experience with the Indiana Jones ride?
Attorney Barry Novak had previously handled similar cases involving brain injuries sustained by riders on the Indiana Jones adventure, both of which were settled. However, in the case of the Morenos, Disney maintained that the ride was safe and that it was not responsible for Cristina's death. Disneyland spokesperson Ray Gomez defended the ride, stating that the company believed it was safe and that Cristina's death was not related to the ride's conditions. Disney agreed
I'm just a little confused on how that can cause a whole brain hemorrhage. From my understanding, a hemorrhage means it's like some kind of rip or something in the brain. That's what it sounds like, at least, or some type of tumor. I just don't understand how a ride can necessarily cause that. But I'm also not a freaking super scientist, so I don't know.
To settle the lawsuit for an undisclosed amount, but the company did not admit any responsibility for the incident. In response to the case, Rob Doty, the vice president of communications for Disneyland Resorts, emphasized the company's commitment to safety, asserting that it had always been a top priority. Despite the settlement, Disney insisted that the attraction was not the cause of Cristina's tragic death. Jose Martinez. Disneyland California is unique as the only park personally designed and built by Walt Disney himself. While it is often seen as a magical place of dreams, it has also been the site of tragedies. By August 2003, 27 individuals had died at Disneyland Resort, casting a shadow over its fairy tale image. One such incident involved Jose Martinez, a quadriplegic man who faced a harrowing experience on the It's a Small World ride in 2009. Martinez and his wife boarded the popular attraction, but when the ride broke down, other passengers were evacuated while he remained stuck.
Yo, that's scary, bro. Imagine having to walk down this damn ride. I mean, I'd rather do this than to just be stuck not having any choice on the ride, but that's still scary,
When the ride broke down, other passengers were evacuated while he remained stuck. Unable to move or escape, Martinez endured the ride's music playing on loop for 40 minutes. The stress and overstimulation caused him to develop autonomic dysreflexia, a dangerous condition that can lead to a stroke or death in individuals with spinal cord injuries. Martinez's attorney, David Geffen, explained that his client suffered severe emotional distress, humiliation, and discrimination during the ordeal. He also experienced panic attacks and high blood pressure as he sat helplessly in the boat. Efforts to turn off the ride's music were unsuccessful, adding to his suffering. Disneyland spokesperson Susie Brown stated that the park believed it
I'm confused, how are they not able to turn off the music, bro? That's weird.
Provided sufficient assistance during the incident, but a U.S. District Court disagreed. Judge James Selna ruled that Disney had failed to adequately warn disabled guests about the risks of becoming stranded on the ride. Martinez's lawsuit resulted in an $88,000 settlement, with half allocated for pain and suffering and the rest for violations of disability laws. Geffen emphasized that the case was more about public policy than personal compensation, highlighting the importance of fair treatment for disabled guests at theme parks.
Yeah, that's one thing. I will agree with that. You definitely have to give a warning. That's the thing. I know you guys probably oh, that's so picky. You know, they have to list everything. But you got to realize, bro, Disney's literally, one of the top 3 biggest companies in the world. So, there's people from all over the world, all types of disabilities, all types of everything. And it kind of as a responsibility of being such a big company with such a big audience, you kind of need to, make things clear to everybody that has disabilities and stuff so that they can, be safe.
We won on public policy, Geffen said, underscoring the need for better accommodations and awareness for individuals with disabilities.
Yeah.
While Disneyland is a beloved destination for many, stories like Martinez's serve as a reminder that even the happiest places on Earth must prioritize accessibility and safety for all visitors.
That's true.
Deborah Gale Stone. Deborah Gale Stone, an 18-year-old hostess from Santa Ana, was part of the magic at Disneyland, working at the America Sings attraction. Standing at 5'2" with a friendly grin, her role was to greet guests as they entered the rotating theater.
Oh, she
However,
was a worker
on the
there?
night of July 8, 1974, her role took a tragic turn. Just a week after America Sings had reopened, Deborah was performing her usual duties when disaster struck. The attraction had a rotating theater with 6 stages that moved in a circle, taking the audience through a musical extravaganza. The walls of the theater were designed to move. But unlike the previous Carousel of Progress ride, where the walls moved apart, the America Sings ride rotated in reverse, causing the walls to move toward each other, creating a dangerous gap.
No way.
Deborah was standing at the left side of the stage, welcoming guests with a microphone when the outer ring of the theater began to rotate. As the walls moved toward each other, Deborah was tragically crushed between the spinning theater wall and the stationary stage wall. This happened during a 45-second break between shows when the audience had exited and the stages were shifting into position for the next show. A guest from the adjacent theater heard a chilling scream and alerted the operators. When they arrived, they found Deborah crushed between the walls. Speculation arose.
Yo, that is actually so sad, bro. Like, she was just deadass just doing her job working at Disney. How do they not take precautions for that, bro? Like, that seems like something they would just know beforehand is a possibility, and they would take every precaution to make sure that doesn't happen, bro.
About how the accident happened. Some believe she may have been leaning toward the adjacent stage, while others think she may have been distracted or tried to jump between stages. Deborah's death marked Disneyland's first staff fatality in its 19-year history. In response, Disneyland closed America Sings for 2 days and quickly made safety improvements. They added a warning light to notify operators if they were too close to the danger zone and replaced the solid walls with breakaway ones to prevent similar accidents.
This should have been how it was built in the first place. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the engineer aspect of this when it comes to safety. If they're new, they're gonna put a worker in between these walls. How is there not like an engineered freaking way for them to escape things or for this not to happen in the first place?
The ride continued to operate until 1988, when it was shut down. The structure remained unused until 1998, when it was repurposed for a new attraction, Innoventions. Marcelo
crazy,
Torres.
Bro. That one might have been the craziest so far. It was probably slow too for her. Like, it just, oh my God.
On September 5th, 2003, a tragic accident occurred on Disneyland's Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, claiming the life of 22-year-old Marcelo Torres from Gardena, California. Marcelo and his friend were seated at the front of the train when disaster struck. The ride was in motion when 2 bolts from the left wheel assembly loosened and fell off. This caused an axle to jam into the track, forcing the locomotive to nosedive and collide with the tunnel ceiling. The impact broke a tow bar connecting the locomotive to the first passenger car, which then crashed into the locomotive's undercarriage. Marcelo suffered fatal chest injuries, including shattered ribs and a lung laceration that caused significant blood loss. 10 other riders were also injured. An investigation revealed that poor maintenance was to blame for the accident. State authorities discovered that maintenance staff had failed to properly tighten 2 screws during routine repairs. Although the train made 12 successful trips after being added to the ride that day, operators reported hearing unusual noises. Unfortunately, the train...
So they were reporting this all day and it didn't get fixed?
Train wasn't inspected in time. During the 13th ride, the axle assembly broke, leading to the catastrophic crash. Following the incident, Disneyland admitted fault, marking a stark contrast to other lawsuits. The park agreed to a settlement with Marcelo's family for an undisclosed amount. Additionally, state regulators required Disneyland to implement stricter safety protocols, including retraining maintenance staff, ensuring all ride cars are tested before passenger loading, and mandating that maintenance workers sign off on completed repairs. Marcelo's parents, Carmen and Hector Torres, channeled their grief into something meaningful by donating $500,000 to Brooks College in Long Beach. The donation funds scholarships for aspiring animators, honoring Marcelo's dream of creating animated films.
Oh, W family,
"We know
bro.
no amount of money can bring Marcelo back," said his mother, Carmen, "but this is the only way the law can try to make things right. We hope to find peace now that this long and emotional journey has come to an end. This heartbreaking event remains a somber
that's a W decision from the family, bro. That like earns so much respect from me.
Reminder of the importance of strict safety measures, even in places designed for joy and entertainment. Christopher Bowman.
Christopher.
Stage and theatrical events at Disney parks are often seen as safe, offering visitors a chance to enjoy performances without worrying about accidents. But the people who make these shows happen, like the stage technicians, often face significant risks in order to bring the magic to life. For example, on April 22, 2003, 36-year-old Disney stage technician Christopher Bowman tragically fell while preparing a magic carpet for a live Aladdin presentation at the Hyperion Theater in Disney's California Adventure. Bowman was working on a catwalk 42 to 60 feet above the ground when he collapsed. He was rushed to the hospital with severe head injuries and remained unconscious for weeks. Unfortunately, Bowman never regained consciousness and passed away on May 18, 2003. An investigation by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, followed the accident. It was found that Bowman did not have a safe work platform and was not wearing a properly certified safety harness. In October 2003, the California Division of Occupational Safety and Health delivered 2 citations to Disney for the incident. The park was fined $18,000.
I wonder if it was on him for just like deciding to not wear the safety things, or if it was actually on the company for not taking those precautions. But there's blame to go on both sides, but definitely it's gonna look bad for Disney because that's a horrible accident.
$1,000 for Bowman's death and an additional $350 for the lack of a proper safety harness. Considering Disney's annual profits of over $2 billion, the fines for such a tragic accident seem remarkably small. This raises
I ain't gonna lie, they getting away with these fines, bro, being super low. But this was a long time ago, so I don't know.
Questions about workplace safety, particularly for employees working in high-risk environments like stage performances, where the dangers are real, but the consequences of negligence can sometimes be minimized. Bonnie Lear. On June 5, 2024, a tragic accident occurred at Disneyland in Anaheim, California, involving a longtime employee. Bonnie Lear, a 60-year-old Club 33 administrator from Fullerton, suffered a severe head injury in a golf cart accident behind Critter Country. Despite receiving medical care, she passed away 2 days later on June 7th. Bonnie was riding in the rear-facing seat of a golf cart with 3 other passengers when the accident happened. The driver, reportedly traveling at around 20 miles per hour, hit a bump or dip in the road. Bonnie instinctively grabbed the handrail for support, but it gave way, causing her to fall out of the moving cart. The impact left her critically injured, with reports stating her skull was fractured and her brain swelled as a result.
Damn, no, that's crazy, bro. It's like that wasn't even her fault. Like that handrail just gave out, and she, you know what I'm saying? You put all your weight on that,
The Anaheim Police Department and OSHA, California's workplace safety agency, are investigating the incident. OSHA requires Disneyland to report serious injuries or fatalities within 8 hours and preserve any evidence related to the accident. Investigators have since visited the scene, taken photographs, and conducted private interviews with employees. Bonnie was a cherished member of the Disneyland team, working closely with Club 33, a members-only restaurant and lounge in the park's New Orleans Square. The club, often described as exclusive and mysterious, was inspired by VIP lounges Walt Disney visited during the 1964 New York World's Fair. Disneyland Resort President Ken Patrick shared a heartfelt statement following the tragedy. "We're heartbroken by the loss of Bonnie and extend our condolences to everyone who loved her. Right now, we're focused on supporting her family and our cast members during this difficult time." As of now,
that's such a tragic way to die, bro. Just that way to go out, falling off a damn cart, bro.
Disneyland has not announced any changes to its golf cart designs, speed limits, or safety features. This incident serves as a sobering reminder of the importance of workplace safety, even in a place as magical as Disneyland. Brandon Zucker. Disneyland is a beloved destination for families, attracting both young children and adults. However, for the Zucker family, their trip to the park in September 2000 turned into a heartbreaking tragedy. Victoria Zucker, who was celebrating her 40th birthday, along with her 4-year-old son Brandon and other family members, visited Disneyland.
One of Miles' favorite places.
Wait, this is real footage?
What should have been a joyful day quickly turned tragic. On September 22, 2000, young Brandon decided to ride Roger Rabbit's cartoon Spin. Unfortunately, during the ride, he fell out of his vehicle and was carried about 10 feet before becoming trapped under another car. The vehicle rolled over him, causing catastrophic internal injuries, including a ruptured spleen, liver, and diaphragm. For almost 10 minutes, he was stuck, and by the time he was rescued, the damage was already severe. Brandon went into cardiac arrest and sustained lifelong brain damage, which left him unable to walk or speak again. He was put into a medically induced coma for over a month and ultimately passed away from his injuries on January 26, 2009.
That is so sad, bro. Like, literally falling off the damn ride. Oh my God, bro. And it's a kid, so they don't know to, like, get out the way or go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So,
the age of 13.
Man.
Victoria Zucker said, "Each time he was poked and prodded, another piece of my heart was ripped away." She had been grieving for 8 years after the incident. Following the tragedy, Disneyland implemented several safety protocol changes. They began directly calling 911 in emergencies instead of routing calls through a central communication center. In 2003, Disney stationed paramedics within the park and introduced a child-friendly safety campaign. An investigation by the state revealed that the lap bar on the ride had malfunctioned and Brandon was improperly seated. The smallest child had been placed farthest from the cutout doorway, and the lap bar was not fully secured. As a result, Disney made
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, that could low-key be on the parent too if you think about it, bro. 'Cause, like, I don't know, when I go like with my little sibling or the little cousins or whatever, it's just like instinct thing. If they're like in the ride and we have the lap bar, I don't just rely on the lap bar, bro. I'll literally hold on to, like, literally hold on to them like the whole way, just because that's just how I like want to do it, and just for the extra safety, bro. Because you're seeing in this video, anything can happen, and you just gotta be ready for that, bro.
Significant improvements to the ride, including adding a sensor-equipped guard around the bottom of the cars. The Zucker family filed a lawsuit against...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, is like, there should definitely be sensors everywhere to where if there's like any type of human motion, legs, hands, whatever, outside the thing, like, things just stop.
Disneyland and reached a settlement, reportedly between $20 and $30 million, to cover Brandon's medical expenses. Dolly Regina Young. The Matterhorn at Disneyland has been a staple of the park for over 60 years, offering thrilling experiences with its abominable snowman and bobsled ride through a replica of the European mountain. However, the ride has been linked to tragic incidents, including the death of Regina Young in 1984. Young, 48, from Fremont, California, was on the Matterhorn bobsleds when she fell from her seat and onto the tracks. She was struck by another...
Bro, a lot of these rides have definitely been changed or just taken away because, like, I don't even know, like, half of these.
...passing bobsled, resulting in fatal injuries. The investigation revealed that her seatbelt had not been properly fastened, a critical factor in the accident. Tragically, Young was alone in the back of the bobsled, meaning no one else witnessed her fall. Her family sued Disneyland, claiming that the park was negligent for failing to properly secure her seatbelt. They filed a lawsuit in Orange County Superior Court for $5 million, seeking accountability for the tragic incident. In the legal filings, the Young family contended that Disneyland staff had not ensured her safety, leading to the fatal accident.
Yeah, and a ride like this too is, I would think it's pretty easy to really check the seatbelt, like have them tug on it. You know how they just tug on it, or they have like the safety belt where they pull on it to make sure it's in. I don't know.
Disneyland spokesman Bob Roth responded by stating that after the incident, the park made changes to the seatbelts used on the ride, though he emphasized that these modifications were unrelated to the Young case. He explained that the changes were triggered by the previous supplier of seatbelts going out of business. Roth also highlighted the Matterhorn's strong safety record, citing the ride's operation of over 5 million riders annually without other significant incidents, aside from a fatality in 1964 when a man stood up on the ride and struck his head. The Matterhorn, despite its iconic status, has been associated with rare but serious accidents, leading to safety improvements over the years in response to tragic incidents. Bogdan DeLauro. In a tragic incident at Disneyland, 18-year-old Bogdan DeLauro and his 10-year-old brother found themselves stranded on Tom Sawyer's Island after staying past the park's closing time. Wanting to explore the burning settler's cabin, which was normally off-limits, the brothers ended up getting bored and decided it was time to leave. However, with no way off the island and no help available, Bogdan made the ill-fated decision to swim back to shore with his younger brother on his back.
What?
Unfortunately, the weight of both brothers was too much for Bogdan, and he tragically drowned during the attempt.
Oh my
His
God,
younger brother,
bro, why
though
would you do
frightened
that?
and struggling, was able to doggy paddle his way to park employees. They quickly rescued him from the water but were unable to save Bogdan, who lost his life in the ordeal. The incident served as a grim reminder of the potential dangers when rules are ignored and the importance of adhering to park guidelines for safety.
Yeah, and where are their parents too, bruh?
Ricky Lee Yama. In August of 1967, Disneyland introduced a new attraction in Tomorrowland called the People Mover. The ride, designed to transport guests slowly through different sections of Tomorrowland, allowed them to get on and off while it was still in motion. However, just 1 month after its opening, tragedy struck. 17-year-old Ricky Lee Yama thought it would be amusing to hop out of his car and move to the next one so he could join his friends. He attempted to do this while passing through a dark tunnel, but lost his balance on the rotating platform. Ricky fell onto the tracks, and another set of cars came along, running over him. He was dragged until the ride was finally stopped. But tragically, Ricky had already passed away.
Yeah, there's no way nobody's surviving that, bro. Especially with that many cars just running over you and stuff. Like how many fractured bones and just broken stuff, especially your brain.
This wasn't an isolated incident. In 1980, a similar accident occurred when another teenager, Gerardo Gonzalez, tried to hop cars during his grad night. Unfortunately, he suffered the same fate as Ricky, falling victim to the moving cars on the People Mover. These incidents highlight the dangers of ignoring safety measures.
It's like, why would you do some stupid shit like this?
Attempting risky actions on rides. Disneyland, known for its careful attention to guest safety, would have no doubt taken further precautions after these tragic events to prevent similar accidents in the future. Philip Strowan. In another tragic incident, 18-year-old Philip Strowan, a high school senior from Albuquerque, New Mexico, was celebrating his graduation and 18th birthday during grad night at Disneyland. Unfortunately, things took a dark turn when Philip, intoxicated from drinking with his friends, decided to play one last prank. He stole an employee boat near Tom Sawyer's Island, intending to take it for a joyride. However, given that it was the middle of the night and Philip was intoxicated,
how the hell was he able to do that though?
He was unable to see where he was going. He crashed the boat into a giant rock and fell into the water, eventually drowning in Disneyland's Rivers of America.
Oh my God, bro.
Cheryl Ann Hoffman. In a tragic incident at Disneyland in 1979, 31-year-old Cheryl Ann Hoffman became seriously ill while riding Space Mountain. After she became unwell, park employees instructed her to remain in her vehicle while they removed it from the track. Unfortunately, due to poor communication, the ride did not stop as planned, and Cheryl was unknowingly sent around Space Mountain a second time. During the second ride, she passed out, and by the time she came around again, it was too late. She was rushed to the hospital but fell into a coma and died shortly after. It was later discovered that Cheryl had a tumor, and the intense motion of the ride caused the tumor to dislodge into her brain, leading to her tragic death. Her husband attempted to sue Disneyland for the incident.
I ain't gonna lie, like, did they know about her tumor? I wasn't really paying attention too much when they were talking about it. Know about it. If they know she had a tumor, bro, why even go to Disneyland or theme parks in the first place? Because I feel like that's just a given, like something could happen like this.
Arguing that the park's failure to remove the vehicle and allow her to safely exit contributed to her death. However, Disney defended itself, citing the presence of warning signs on the ride that advised guests with medical conditions to avoid certain attractions.
Yeah, there is signs that warn people with epilepsy and stuff. Like, I've seen those signs before.
Claiming they could not be held responsible for what happened. The case highlighted the complexities of medical conditions and safety precautions at amusement parks. Luan Fee Dawson. On Christmas Eve of 1998, a tragic accident occurred at Disneyland when Luan Fee Dawson, a Microsoft engineer, and his family were waiting for a ride on the Columbia ship at the Rivers of America. The boat was securely tied to the dock by a rope attached to a metal cleat. However, due to a poorly trained Disney employee who forgot to untie the rope, the boat moved forward, causing the cleat to be yanked out of the dock and strike Dawson in the head.
No way, bro. That's the way you go out, bro, because this dumbass employee forgot to untie the thing. Oh my God, their family's about to get a crazy bag.
Luan was rushed to the
so
hospital
sad.
but tragically passed away 2 days later. His children, who were standing nearby, witnessed the heartbreaking event.
Damn.
This marked the first fatality at Disneyland, where the company could not place blame on the park guests' behavior and was forced to take responsibility.
That's all
As a
on
result, Disney updated its employee safety training protocols.
Bro, imagine being that employee and like having that on your head for the rest of your life, bro. Like, I don't know how I'd be able to live with that. I mean, obviously, it had to have been an accident, so it's not a malicious thing to do. But at the same time, it's like, fuck, bro. Like, you just took somebody away from their family on Christmas Eve, too. Like, out of all day, like, Jesus.
Dawson's family took legal action against Disneyland, and the case was settled for an undisclosed amount. Some speculated that the settlement could have been as high as $20 million, though the exact figure remains unknown. The incident highlighted the importance of proper training and safety measures for employees working in high-risk environments. The Rocket's Broken Dreams. In St. Petersburg, Russia, Divo Ostrov Amusement Park is home to many exciting rides, but none as notorious as the Rocket. This
looks crazy already, bro. I wouldn't even want to go on this.
Towering thrill machine was designed to give riders a taste of space travel, launching them 200 feet into the air while flipping them upside down. It sounded like the ultimate adrenaline rush, until things went horribly wrong in 2010. On one fateful day, a cable snapped mid-ride, leaving 10 passengers stranded high above the ground.
Oh, and they're just like upside down like that. Oh no, bro. Oh no.
Imagine being stuck in the air, dangling for over an hour, with nothing but the wind and your pounding heart for company. Thankfully, rescue crews worked tirelessly to get everyone down safely, and miraculously, no one was seriously hurt. An investigation later revealed that the day's scorching heat had weakened the metal cables, leading to the failure. It was a shocking oversight. Rides like this should be built to handle extreme weather. While the ride was repaired and reopened,
especially like this where it's like solely hanging on these wires, bro. Like they have to be built for all weather conditions. I don't know how that wasn't a thing to think about.
The incident shook everyone's confidence. This scary moment was a wake-up call about the importance of safety in thrill.
Like there's literally no other hinges, no other builds to where, like it's all on these wires, bro. If anything happens to any of the wires, it's done.
Rides. Sure, these attractions are built to make you feel like you're defying gravity, but they also need to account for real-world factors like weather and wear and tear. For those 10 unlucky riders, the Rocket wasn't just a ride. It was a nightmare they'd never forget. And for the park, it was a harsh lesson in ensuring that thrills don't come at the expense of safety.
Thank God nobody died, though.
The grueling Green Lantern.
Green Lantern?
When Green Lantern first flight opened at Six Flags Magic Mountain in 2011, it promised to be a superhero-worthy experience. With a zigzagging vertical track and spinning seats, the ride aimed to make you feel like Green Lantern himself, soaring through the skies. Unfortunately, the reality wasn't quite so heroic. Instead of a smooth, exhilarating flight, riders were in for a rough time. The spinning seats and jerky track left many feeling like they'd been through a wrestling match. Complaints poured in about neck pain, headaches, and back issues.
Yeah, that looks like a ride that just whips you around and shit.
As the rapid twists and sudden drops caused more discomfort than delight.
It's like a
what
long
was supposed
ride,
to be thrilling felt more like a wild tumble that nobody asked for. As word spread, reviews took a nosedive, and the ride's reputation tanked. By 2017, Six Flags quietly shut it down. For 2 years, the coaster stood there, unused, before the park officially decided to scrap it in 2019. Though it had aimed to be cutting edge, Green Lantern First Flight ended up being a huge flop, mirroring the lukewarm reception of the Green Lantern movie that inspired it. The ride is now
I ain't gonna lie, that Green Lantern movie was ass, bro.
Remembered less for its ambition, and more as a cautionary tale of how even the most creative ideas can backfire if they're not properly executed. Sometimes what looks good on paper doesn't always fly in the real world. Literally. While Disneyland is still a beloved destination for millions, these tragic events remind us that accidents can happen anywhere, even in the happiest places. Each of these stories is a somber
what is this thumbnail? Jesus Christ.
Reminder of how precious life is. Thanks for joining us as we explored these dark chapters.
Yeah, this is a great video, man. Shout out to the guy who made this video. I think Beyond the Known. Everybody go subscribe to him. watch his videos. If you guys want me to react to anything else, make sure you guys leave it in the comments, or I have a Discord where you guys can recommend reaction videos. I want you guys to help me with that because sometimes I don't be knowing what's trending and stuff. But yeah, be safe when you go to Disneyland. Follow the rules. Make sure your seatbelt's always on. If you're with, you know, little cousins or kids or whatever, make sure they're good. And yeah, man, I don't even like going to Disneyland anyway, so I don't have to worry about this.